everybody thinks as the Sideways Effect. Okay, that movie was awesome. We all lived it. Come on, I mean, seriously. I mean, I can put a lot of money in my pocket because of that deal. Bottom line, and I appreciate that. I understand it. I got to live it. But it wasn't for the 20s and 30s in France if they didn't change that definition of quality from volume and farmability to quality. That never would have happened. You can't take Tyrol de Go in Italy, from Alto Adige region, do a movie and blow it up like that. It wouldn't happen. But all the things, the perfect storm came together. The Pinot Noir changed, you guys. And anybody who's been drinking wine for 15, 20 years, you saw it change. You know, these wonderful old Mount Edens, and Chalon, Dick Graff, a pioneer, Ken Brown, a pioneer. You know, I mean, coming out of Zaca Mesa doing his stuff. You know, these guys, you know, obviously Sanford Bindley, these guys were pioneers of the stuff, but the material they were working with was different than what we have today. And so that time period, it didn't hit our shores. I was there. It's amazing to me that I got to sit around and do that. I mean, when Ken Brown in 1991, you know, he planted a 100-acre spot at Byron Winery, and every 4 rows was a different rootstock and clone combination of Pinot Noir and Chardonnay replicated. Okay? There wasn't a vineyard like it in California. He went up there and worked with Francis Mahoney at Carneros Creek and got the information, what was the hottest and coolest stuff, learned from him, but took it to the next level with materials that we got from France just that year. We put it in the ground, and we all sat around, and boom, we were in this whole new territory. I remember Burt Williams, a brand called Williams and Sellium up in Northern California. Every year he'd come down and taste with us, and barrel-to-barrel taste, and want to know what clone's this. He was on it too. He was working on it. And that's the 2 people I'd like to talk about when it comes to that change of period, with Burt Williams and Adam Tomac. Okay, Ojai Wines. Adam Tomac had a technique and an inspiration that was a little bit different than what I saw. And I think those 2 gentlemen took a new cuttings and really applied a different sort of winemaking, a little bit different winemaking to it, and different handling to it, and really brought forth a new Pinot Noir that was what now is kind of a short thing, going from the old Pinot Noir where it's kind of herbal. It's pretty interesting, pretty awesome, it's great. But then we got this big, heavier style. And then from that, you guys, it's gone into a whole different atmosphere. You know, other people, Manfred Krankel, you know, what's else, the big, heavy, you know.
Clendenin.
What's that?
Clendenin.
Yeah, it's the same time period though. Clendenin remained true to the typical Pinot Noir though. He always has. When you look at it, I taste often, and he personally in his style has stayed more true. Other brands, and I'm not pointing fingers, I'm not having judgment, I'm just observing some of these other brands, you know, and other styles of wine, beautiful styles of wine. And you can't, Costa Brown, I mean, that's not a Pinot Noir 35 years ago would have been thought of as a Pinot Noir. It's a great Pinot Noir today. Everybody loves it. I totally respect it. But it's right now is the king of this new style. Pizzoni, great example of that. Pizzoni, you know, that's another one. Again, what was different about Pizzoni? The main thing, he had new material. When you first went in the ground with that new material, you made this big like change. You know, it's a very interesting time. So, you know, that's the background of California Pinot Noir that I've got to see. And I think it's pretty important when you're really focusing on Pinot Noir, kind of understanding these people who really got us today. You know, Etienne's here too, another winemaker buddy of mine sitting here right here. You know, we get to stand on these guys' shoulders. We got to listen and taste that stuff, and we're going to continue trying to make it better. So that's important. Always look backward before you can really get forward. So I hit New Zealand. I hit Burgundy. I did the California thing. Let me talk about my brand. I did a sales stick for you real quick. So my company is called Siner LaValle. Siner is my last name, and LaValle is my wife's maiden name. We've kind of focused our company in Pinot Noir, started in 1997. Again, got married in Burgundy in France in 96. Started this company in 97. There's 2 of my wines in this flight. It's be nice, okay? That'd be cool. But hey, you know, call it like it is because that's the deal. We specialize in Pinot Noir, but we don't own any vineyards. But I had the good fortune, 6 years of college, right? It's not what you know, it's who you know. And so, so I've got 1 acre of Tally Rincon vineyard every year. That's 1 acre. Those 14 rows are my rows every year. I have another vineyard that's just south of Letitia Winery, and that's called the Aubin Vineyard. That vineyard is an 840-foot elevation overlooking the Pacific Ocean. In that vineyard, I have 3 parcels. I have the most eastern part of the vineyard, the most western part of the vineyard, and the most northern part of the vineyard. Those are my rows every year. And for all the pieces I work with in vineyards, I have control over farming. Luckily, I work with great farmers, so I don't have to do anything. You know, it's kind of the easy part. And so I don't have to get in there and change anything because they're already good at what they do. But my contracts allow me to do that if I need to. I have the ability to farm those. I bring those in our winery. You know, this little company called Silent Valley, I've had it since '97. We make about 400 cases a year. It's very under the radar. It's always what I've kind of wanted to do. I left Dwayne Alford